Hello and welcome to The Dugout, the show that does for football what Sergio Ramos and Xavi Alonso do for good sportsmanship and professional integrity. Nothing. It's been a busy few weeks since we were last on your screens, with pointless and predictably disappointing international friendlies, tiresome Champions League matches and ITV still somehow being allowed to broadcast football. Over at Stamford Bridge, the Sir Roger Moore of football management, Carlo Ancelotti, was rumoured to be quitting Chelsea after 2 straight defeats. Meanwhile, across London, Arsenal have massively cocked up any attempt to get Arsene Wenger any sort of trophy. And the England team have started selecting players that no one has even heard of. But it's not all been doom and gloom. We can only thank God for that. West Ham are still rock bottom of the Premier League. That is me dancing a dance of joy. But what does all this mean for the game of football, the beautiful game, the national sport? Well, we're joined now by Football 365's very own John Nicholson as we attempt to find out, is football really in crisis? So, John, after England's dismal performance against France, the press have once again been banging on about how Fabio Capello's really rubbish, despite his rather impressive record at AC Milan, AS Roma and Real Madrid. However, if Jay Bothroyd is seen as the solution to England's goal-scoring woes, surely the England team are a team in crisis.
No, I think we can draw on the wisdom of our forefathers here, Dom, as the great Supertramp once said, crisis, what crisis? I always quote Supertramp at times of stress for England. And this is business as usual, isn't it? Every England manager is obliged to pick someone who's rubbish. Carlton Palmer, Andy Hinchcliffe, Steve Guppy, Michael Ricketts. They've all played the role very successfully in the past. Capello should be praised for carrying on this country's finest traditions. His critics just have no respect for some of our finest traditions of football. A crap player in the squad is essential at all times. Never forget that.
Wise words indeed, John. There's still hope for Titus Bramble then. Meanwhile, on the domestic scene, Carlo Ancelotti is rumoured to be on the verge of quitting as Chelsea coach after losing 2 straight games in the Premier League. Admittedly, they remain top of the table and are already through to the knockout stage of the Champions League. But will losing Ray Butch Wilkins result in a crisis?
Oh, it's a total crisis, Dom, a total crisis. I mean, without Butch, how will Chelsea's players learn how to pass the ball sideways for an hour and a half? Butch was the master at that, unrivalled in world football. And what excellent manners he had too. Football's in crisis if a man of good manners can't hold down a job without Ray's guiding influence on their morale. Can you imagine the immoral behaviour that Chelsea players might get up to? It's a disaster.
Now, what some are calling the Great Football Crisis also appears to have hit Scottish football too, as referees have threatened to strike after recent public criticism from clubs in the SPL. With heavy snow forecast for the weekend and with a shortage of those orange balls, could this weekend see Scottish football at a point of crisis?
No, this isn't a crisis at all. Look, Scottish football doesn't even need referees. Your Scotsman has an innate ability to discipline 22 unruly men with only the aid of an iron brew bottle and some industrial language. Anyone can do it. You don't have to be trained. It's easy. They have an innate authority that just comes from generations of men shouting at people in the street, "You're looking at me, pal, and I can hurt you." They're very good at it. They don't need referees. They can boss themselves.
And finally, John, with Christmas coming up, many people will be experiencing their own crisis, this time when choosing presents for loved ones. Can you suggest any, football books to help deal with such a crisis?
Oh, yes. If you've got a crisis at Christmas, I can suggest buying a copy of We Ate All the Pies, How Football Swallowed Britain Whole, by world-renowned author John Nicholson, a close personal friend of mine. It's ideal reading for anyone interested in the culture of football, also suitable for tramps and the insane.
John Nicholson, you, sir, are a qualified crisis management manager. I salute you, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you and good night.
I look like a mug.
Not a particularly interesting or controversial wedding, but Rio's marriage to long-term partner Rebecca Ellison did provide one bizarre twist when the Daily Mirror announced exclusively that the couple's rings would be flown down the aisle by an owl called Ollie. Whether or not this actually happened is anyone's guess. Maybe someone could tweet Rio on Twitter. Bird pun. The Cundies, Britain's favourite football couple, or at least they would be if A, they hadn't split up, B, anyone had heard of them, and C, they were in any way likeable. Jason Cundy thought that the ideal jacket for his big day was one made out of a 3D magic eye puzzle. We can't quite work out what it is. Is it a yacht? Or a balloon? Oh no, it's just a f***ing terrible jacket. The biggest football wedding of the 90s, it ruined his career at Manchester United and set the couple back £500,000. However, the Beckhams were more than compensated when OK magazine paid them a truckload of cash for photos of the happy couple sitting in golden thrones. Another fashion faux pas, this time from Inter Milan baldy Wesley Sneijder. Not only is he wearing a suit that resembles something absolutely disgusting, but his guests appear to have turned up in clothes that are 3 sizes too small. Not only that, but his wife's big day was ruined by this unfortunate bout of dandruff. A fairy tale romance. She's the Queen of Hearts, convicted of assault occasion in actual bodily harm, and he's the country's most hated footballer. What could possibly go wrong? Loads. A number of allegations of cheating down the line, and the Coles were granted a quickie divorce. But what this marriage will really be remembered for is this: a mega deal with the National Lottery to create the most appalling series of adverts ever known to man.
The start of the Dugout Championa is closing in, and you have until Saturday the 27th of November to enter your team into the Dugout Championa in order to be in with a chance of winning the Dugout Championa. This is what you have to do to enter.
Stage 1.
Get a computer.
Stage 2.
Go to fantasyfootball.skysports.com. Register to play.
Stage 3.
Select your team. Our tip is to pick players that are good and not the ones that are rubbish, injured, retired or dead.
Stage 4.
Enter the code 42756 in private leagues.
Stage 5.
Sit back and watch those prizes come rolling in. Now, you may notice that some people already have hundreds of points in the league before it's even started. It is a flaw, but fear not. We shall be running our very own table with everyone's handicaps removed, so the only way for you to find out exactly how well you're doing in the Dugout Championa will be to tune in to the Dugout. Cunning, isn't it? Now, as well as an amazing prize for the overall winner, we shall be rewarding whoever comes up with the best team name. Current favourites include Twant Cat United, which we're sure is a swear word, but we're not quite sure why, Lewis Burns' endearing Real Sociopath, and our very own Pete Holloway's delightfully named team, Kiss My Ass.
The royal wedding has dominated the front pages since the announcement of Willington and Cathy's marriage, but somehow it also crept onto the back pages too. Ahead of England's amazing performance against France, Fabio Capello held a press conference, where the first question asked was if he had a message for the royal duo. We're not really sure what his response was, but think he said something about a fridge, maybe.
Congratulations at Prince Williams and Kate, and I will meet him in Zurich, and I will be really happy to shake him the hand for the future.
Is this really the first question to ask the England football manager ahead of an important friendly showcasing the future of English football talent? And yeah, we know William is the president of the FA, but that still doesn't make it relevant enough. Plus, there's enough guff about this wedding already.
Last week, we gave you the chance to win a shiny copy of the new Football Manager game. We asked if you could open a restaurant with any footballer, who would it be and what would you call it? And my oh my, we were inundated with answers. It was tough to pick a winner and tempers frayed somewhat amongst the Dugout team. Let's take a quick look at the decision process. Well, there were some great entries which didn't win, such as Bakary Lasagna, Sean Wright Fillets, Tim Howard's F*** You, and Bernd Haas's Basel's Best Rump Steakhouse. But ultimately, we've had to award the prize to these fantastic restaurants. In no particular order, we have Matt Pickett's Hand of Cod, co-owned with Diego Maradona, Matthew Ryan, who's working with Wayne Rooney on the Stray Sausage, Jukka Koskinen, who entered 3 times, all of which were sublime, Robert Huth, Pizza Huth, Titus Bramble with Bramble Scrambles, and David and Go with Eat and Go. Ryan Hunt with Edwin Sandwich Bar, and Samuli Mushtapata with Tevazatarian. Congratulations, guys. You've done us all proud. Well, that's just about it for yet another stupendously good episode of The Dugout. We'll be back shortly with even more football-related hijinks. In the meantime, if you want to get in touch, then send us an email to thedugout@football365.com or join the Facebook page at the address on your screen now. But in the meantime, enjoy your football, and bye for now.